All right.
It's 201, I guess. That's where we.
All right. Hey, everybody. We're coming back at you with the book club. Just want to encourage to everybody to read, or encourage somebody that you know that doesn't read to read. We want to finish up Tiffany Haddish. This book is great. We totally enjoyed reading it. She's super entertaining. I feel like it's in her voice, and it's very intimate too. Like, you get to know some things that a lot of other people probably wouldn't even share with you. But she's a comedian, and that's what she does. She shares her life story. And I'm gonna turn the ring light on. So I think the book is great. Mildred, what's your take on the book?
I enjoy reading it. She's truthful.
She's so honest. Yeah.
I love it too, the honesty.
She tells us, the reader, things that she wouldn't tell other people.
Yes.
She says, I never mentioned that at some point, that to anyone, but I guess now everyone will know, and I thought it belongs in the book, some like this.
So we're going to wrap it up regardless of where we get today. I have a couple things highlighted, but in general, I highly recommend you get the book. It's a great book to read. I think anybody in middle school or high school and up, I think it's a great book to read with a young person, because there's stuff in here that you can talk about with that young person that maybe is awkward dialogue without a book or that type of a reference. What do you guys think?
Some of it's kind of in their language, how they would be talking or so,
Right.
kind of, and then they are
Might
more open
relax
to it
and-
and relate
yes.
more to it, as if you try to make them read Shakespeare or whatever,
Yeah.
that wouldn't be in their language.
Yeah, so I feel like for a young person, if you read it with a young person, it'll give you plenty of opportunities to have conversations. So in this book, she just pretty much, in this chapter, The Long Road to Comedy, it just says this stuff doesn't happen overnight. She's been a comedian for 20-some years. That's how long it takes to make it. A lot of it was she did it because she had this choice. It was either this or juvie. What was it? This or
The comedy thing.
but it was the comedy club
Yeah.
or something else. Do you remember what? I don't remember what the other option was, because she didn't choose it
Yeah, she chose the comedy.
with her counselor.
I think it was Jury. I think she was.
something like that.
Yeah, so she chose comedy then. That was when she was maybe 15, 14 years old. She did that all through high school. She did her bar mitzvahs. She's a great entertainer. It's easy for her to open up about her life, to have these discussions, to make people laugh. Her favorite thing is to see people's teeth.
Yeah. She likes to make people.
She kind of tells young people, don't abolish your values.
Yes.
Like a lot of these,
Talk about
all
it,
the
yes.
ones that whatever got their
Because it's
experience
hard
on
for
their
a
back or
woman. It's very
whatever.
hard for a woman.
They're not there anymore,
Yes.
Right.
And she kind of, everyone, at one point she thought, oh, I kind of messed up my career or whatever,
Yeah.
but she didn't resent it basically, but she kind of
Because
kept.
there was several promoters that wanted her to sleep with them in order to be
and she was
to
like,
get
no.
gigs, and she was like, nope, not doing it.
That's
Because
not
she
me.
only sleeps with people to heal them. And if that's not what she's doing, she ain't about to do it. And it's in the end of the chapter. I have that highlighted, but I don't need to read it word by word, because if you're reading the book or you're interested in reading the book, that is such an important chapter. Just read that. And then, that at the end of that chapter is where she tells you about Kevin Hart. She calls him her comedian angel.
Yes.
And that pretty much just read the book, because you can respect her because she did this craft. She created herself in this environment without belittling without using sex as a way to get ahead. And she shows in here that the people that did that, they're not around anymore.
Right.
And I feel like that's important, because people always try to get you in some way or another.
Yeah, and that one guy tried to say he had her in the back of his car.
Oh yeah, he lied about it. Oh yeah, that set her off.
And
He did. He lied.
they were at some kind of a
She
performance, and she went
she
up and
confronted
confronted him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She sure did.
And I
she
think
said,
that's
I won't beat you up, but there will be other people,
Yeah.
I'm from Compton or whatever she said, something like that.
So this is Tiffany True Hollywood Stories. That's the next chapter, and that kind of talks again about her Scientology thing,
Yeah.
which in here it says they enticed her into this organization because they had housing, free housing, and they paid you $50 a month. But they had bunk beds, and she doesn't do bunk beds.
Right.
So she got out of it the same day she signed her contract. I know other people had problems, but she did not.
No, she didn't.
So
all because of bunk beds.
Yeah. So and definitely like read that chapter. We're not gonna go through it like you know.
Like the villain Jada when she has a group
and I want to talk about that. I have that highlighted. Like she's so down to earth, even when she's with someone that's somebody else might be like, oh, like they're like above me, like Will and Jada. Like who can imagine having dinner with Will and Jada?
Right.
They brought her Moscato barefoot to the table because she said, I don't do all these weird wines. I just want like.
She asked for that,
and somebody went and got it for her.
Yeah.
Well, of course, because she was with Will and Smith.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? That's what I drank. Hold up.
Yeah, and Jada was trying to school her and trying to tell her that she needs to bring up her game because, you know, she wearing these $85 dresses and knockoff purses and you know, she thought, what's wrong with my stuff? I ain't nothing wrong with my stuff. This is where I'm at right now.
And this was Tiffany's rule. She wanted the same amount of money in her purse that her purse was valued at.
Yep.
The $1,200 purse she got from Jada.
So she bought herself a personalized cashier check and made it out to herself, and she has that in her purses that are valuable because it teaches her like she's not buying to impress, she's buying if she is going to buy to do that, she's going to buy to get ahead. Right. But she's still going to follow her rules, and her rules was I'm not going broke in Hollywood. And I love that about her.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that's something that young people don't do. Like they will go broke in Alton. Like they're not in Hollywood.
Right. Yeah, like
yeah.
Some people, they don't have a penny to their name, but they buy $600, $700, $800 designer purses.
Right.
I got knockoffs. So then the next thing is like she's going to the swamp tour because she does stuff, and then Will and Jada go with her to the swamp tour, and that's interesting.
Yeah, she didn't think they would go.
No, and she's doing her own thing in the hotel room.
but they thought that she had her own boat.
Yeah.
They was going on her boat.
Jada was a little, she didn't really want, but Will said, come on, let's go.
Yeah. Jada was a little uppity.
Yeah, and I felt like when Will made that announcement, it just reminded me of Bad Boys. Do you ever watch them? That's just, he just turned into that character like, hey, listen everybody, when we're done with the tour, we might do photographs and autographs.
Let us just enjoy.
Yeah, let us just be one of you right now. And I thought, like, when I heard her say that, I was like, that's him just being those characters that he plays, because I could totally see him saying that, like in Bad Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought, like, read that. That is so entertaining. It's so funny.
You're safe with me. I have a backpack.
Yeah. And then she was like, what does that mean?
What's a backpack?
Yeah.
They thought she has some kind of gun or whatever in the backpack.
Right.
She said nothing, it's just a backpack.
But it's funny though, because she's like, oh, I'm going on the swamp tour, it's going to be so far out, I'm going to smoke a little weed, because she has this prescription for weed because she has a bad back. So she's like, I'm going to get high, get ready for my swamp tour, and then all of a sudden Will and Jada call her. Then she's like trying to sober up for 2 hours.
Right.
Like, ooh, I got to like not be high. So I'm going to be hanging out with Will. I can remember this moment. So I thought, like, she's being so honest. Like, these are things that people do.
Yep.
You know, they're just living their regular life, and she's letting us in on that and being honest about it and making us laugh about it, which I think is great.
Oh, she thought she's driving with them, and they're all jumping in her
Yeah,
car.
she's like, hey, hoopty here.
She went at a rental car.
And then she said she thought she was really cool, but Will reminded her, no, you were like driving like this. Because she was like, I got these people in this car. They're valuable people. I can't be messing around and got in my car. So I thought that was like great. Like that chapter's great. Like, and then the interesting thing about it is that was the end of her really being a regular person, because once that movie hit, her life's different now. It may not be different because she's a saver, she's a penny pincher. You know what I mean? She's not out there bouging it up. But it is different to some extent because she can ask for more, and the advice that Jada gave her really is good advice because she is an A-list actress now, you know.
Yep.
So even though she didn't want to hear what Jada was saying, Jada was just trying to prepare her for what was going to happen when that movie got released.
Yeah, she told her she had to start wearing makeup.
Yeah, she was like, you need to look good all the time.
Yeah. And quit putting on them $85.
And then she said, and buy
Getting a
good
swamp.
makeup. I think it's funny that really uppity people, like people that are just beyond our reach, they don't understand some things. Like they didn't understand what a Groupon was. They didn't
Right.
understand what a swamp tour was. Not because it was beneath them, but because that's not their world.
Nope.
Like they thought she had a boat. They were going to take her on a tour. Like this Groupon thing, they didn't really understand it, but they thought maybe that was some type of something. You know what I mean?
That is beautiful, I know, and I'm gonna get one of these. What? One of these boats? No, a swamp.
And then she's like, "You can't have an ecosphere," or she was, I don't know. It was funny.
You know what? I'm gonna buy me something too. She
She said, I'm gonna buy me an iceberg.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
And I'm gonna melt it into your swamp.
So, and then it kind of in this chapter also shows up like how her emails are blowing up, how the film hits, and then just like, again, like she's kind of in this dilemma. Do I want to hire someone to be my personal assistant? Jada tries to advise her to.
Yeah. And she hires somebody and she
fires him.
And fires him the same day because
Yeah.
she didn't feel right having somebody take care
She
of her.
doesn't like for people to run her either.
No.
So it's hard. She's not going to be a personal assistant type person because at the end of the day, she doesn't want that. She also
She
wants
to take care of her own self.
She wants to adopt a child, like an 8-year-old, somebody that's potty trained. I think that's smart.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I
Yeah.
have to deal with some potty training.
Well, that's
sometimes.
because she went into the foster care
When she
system
was that
when she was
age.
about that age. So she
And I think that's
understands.
endearing. Like that.
Yeah.
That's still her plan. That's
Yeah.
still something. I totally see her doing that. You know.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. So I was like,
She got that $400 apartment, but she still has it today.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because you go to all these different places and locations to do things, and I'm sure she can just mingle in, you know, and not have to. And she's thrifty, so why give that up? And then she went to this party at Queen Latifah's house. I thought that was a little.
Oh, that was crazy. That was crazy.
And then what did she? I have this highlighted. I don't know if you guys highlighted this.
What?
It says, Queen Latifah, you never invite nobody to your house unless they got something to lose. I guess because she's like, feels like Tiffany has something to lose now. She is that type of person now, you know, and I guess Queen Latifah's rule is like, if we all have something to lose, then we'll all respect and have a good time and party nicely together.
Right.
I felt like that was the logic behind it, but I didn't know what you guys thought about it.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And then we're gonna go to She's Ready. Because we kind of covered that chapter. We hopped back and forth. We want you guys to read the book, so we're not trying to read these chapters to you. How I Knew I Made It. This is the last chapter, I think. I have a lot of this stuff
it is.
highlighted, and
It
I
is.
really want to read all these
Oh.
highlighted parts. And if you guys have something highlighted, I want you guys to read it too.
I've seen,
I didn't highlight anything because I'm going to be giving this book to
Yeah.
a coworker.
Senior Hall. She's
Yes, that's why she thought she had made it.
Yes. So
She
tell us what you guys think about that.
Arsenio Hall was her idol.
Yes.
infatuated.
And she was infatuated
She's
with
gonna make a
him.
baby with him.
And, yeah,
She's gonna give him the black
she was
baby.
She was going to give him a pure
Black baby.
black baby.
I loved it.
Yes. And she wanted to be with him. So when she got the opportunity to be on his show, she was just so excited and everything. And then when she did her little skits, everybody was like happy with it. She gave 110% performance. And she was just happy to be with Arsenio Hall.
Yes. And I want to read
And
a part.
Arsenio said, I was smart and beautiful. Did you hear that?
Yes.
The producer says, pull yourself together, girl. You're about to go out there.
Yeah. And then on 258, I'm going to have one of you guys read my goals. We're just going to read the end of that page. My goal is to...
Oh, my goal is to get enough money to buy a duplex. I want to put her in one of the units and hire a full-time nurse to take care of her is her
It's her
mother.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and she wants a full, even her mother treated her horrible.
She
or
loves
whatever.
her mom, yeah.
She loves her mom.
Oh, okay.
She knows that her mom has a mental problem and that's not really her mom and she is kind of crazy. A full-time nurse to take care of her. When I want to get her on whatever medication they gave her when she was in Norwalk, so she can be my mama again.
Because that was the place where they gave her the right kind of medication to where she was normal. When she used to visit her there, she never felt like she was a different person. Like there was love and affection in all their interactions. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, that's all I really want from life. She wants her mom to
And that's
be
why she
loving and
saves
normal.
and she does all this other stuff because she has this goal that she's, doing. And then how to survive and thrive in Hollywood. The thing that I highlighted here was on 261. Do you want to read what Jada says? The second Jada up on 2.
You got to use it for at least 6 months before you can give it away or sell it. That is how you have to deal with the gift.
And this is all about the purses, and how she has the money
She gave
order
her
put.
that $1,200 purse.
And
And
then
she was going to take it to the pawn shop.
she's like, I'm about to cash this sucker in. She's like, no, you can give it as a gift, but use it for 6 months,
Yeah, you got to use it
Yeah.
at least for 6 months before you sell it or give it away.
And I would say this book's giving a little bit of a reference with her and Jada's relationship, but I bet you there's a lot there. I'm sure they have a strong friendship. On the next page, on 262, I highlighted what Tiffany said, the second one down. If somebody wants to read it, it starts with Bud.
But seriously, I can't have this. She talks about the $1,200 purse. My philosophy is that I can't keep the amount of money in there that it costs. I shouldn't have it. However much the bag costs. If the bag is a $300 bag, I should be able to keep $300 in it at all times, or it's too expensive.
And I love this
Jada was
philosophy.
laughing.
Yeah, but I like her idea of
Yes.
that, and I feel like it's so smart.
Because there's too many people living beyond their means.
Yeah. So I think this is so nice. And then on the bottom, if you want to read the last thing she says, okay.
Okay, I'll get a money order for $1,200 in there that's made out to myself. That way I can always have $1,200 in my bag for myself and can't nobody steal it.
Yeah, because she's still living that life where she's fearful that someone, she's
Don't
still
take something
yeah,
from
because
her.
that was her life. She had to protect everything she had. And then, Mom, if you want to read Jada on the next page, the first Jada.
Why are you leaving the price on this?
No, Jada. There you go.
Okay. So you know the value of what you're carrying around. Because she asked her why she leaves the price tag on it. You got to carry yourself like you are valuable.
Yes.
And you need to have valuable things. When this movie comes out, you are going to be an A-list actress. You've got to think like an A-list person. This is what I was talking about in that text I sent you. What do you mean? I like my $85 dress. Jada, Tiffany, you want to wear designer clothes because people are going to be seeing you. You're going to be in the eye of the public. And they're going to be like, what are you wearing? If you say Chico and Taylor, that's not going to work. You need to be wearing designers. It sets you apart from everybody else and puts you in a certain class level. If you want to be considered top-notch, you need to wear top-notch type things.
And I think this was pure, honest advice. It wasn't like Jada was coming from a place where she was trying to help her on her come up. Does that make sense, what I'm saying? Jada was never putting her down or anything. She was just really trying to help her with her come up. And I was going to have you read the next page where it says Tiffany on top.
Tiffany, I want to spend my money on things that I think will make me more money. That's why I'm investing in my book and my comedy special. That's why I buy nice hair. It's going to make me more money if I look better like that.
And to me, I always think, I thought of Kiara when I read that. Because I'm thinking part of getting ahead is that polished look, and that happens. But I think here she lets know this is what is considered polished to her. Considered polished to her is good hair.
But Jada compliments her.
Yeah.
That's great, Tiffany. You do that. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, and I feel so she did have a standard. It just wasn't in name brand clothing and items. Her standard was my hair is always going to be on fleek. You know what I mean? My hair is going to be what is going to set me apart from other people, and I felt so she did have some type of a standard. Jada's just helping her up that standard because she's an A-list person now. It has to be more than your hair, but of course keep your hair game going. And then if you wanted to read this Jada,
I'll introduce you to some people, but really all it boils down to is using your fame to get the stuff. Designers want famous, pretty women wearing their clothes. You put yourself on Instagram wearing a $500 dress most places will give it to you for free or very cheap.
Yes, and then I was gonna have you read, I want
my money.
Yeah.
I want my money to make me money. But Jada is teaching me that how you look in Hollywood can often make you money. Opportunities in Hollywood will open up if you are sending the right signals about yourself. Fashion is part of how to send the right messages. If I want to be the girl that belongs to Hollywood, I not only have to have talent, but I also have to signal to Hollywood that I belong.
Yes.
By wearing cheap, low-class knockoffs, I'm telling people that they can treat me low-class. That maybe I don't belong on that higher level. I have to value myself properly. That's something I have had hard time with in the past, but I'm getting better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to read this because it is like that in everything you do. Like for me, with my job, it's like, if I want to keep my job and I want to be successful, then I have to wear my uniform and I have to show up on time. And I have to be friendly to the people I work with and the people I engage with at work. Everybody has some type of standard to
Right.
continue to thrive at work.
Right.
And I think it's nice that Jada was letting her know about the standard in Hollywood on this professional level instead of somebody else sneaking in there and telling her what the standard is that maybe wasn't 100 with her. And then I was going to have you do, I called
one of my cousins to tell him. He started telling me about all this property I got in Africa and that I'm actually,
So this
A
chapter right
princess.
here is about when her dad passes away. Because he just passed away here, not in May 13th, 2017. And this is kind of what she had to go through, what she discovered when her dad passed away. So I'll just let Mildred read it.
okay. It says that I'm actually a princess in his old village. That my dad was like a king in the village, but he ran away because of the war. Then he was saying there's back taxes that I need to pay and all this stuff. And if I come, I have to come with some type of security because it's still a war going on in the village where my grandmother's grave is. And I have to claim this land for the family before the government finds out my father is dead, because they're confiscated from the family and then we won't have nothing. And that's what they living off of.
Yeah, and I thought that was so interesting because here has to deal with this other challenge where she kind of, it doesn't go on so much more about this, like we don't know
What she did about
when she's going on this journey, when she's doing this, or if she's already did it, like she didn't put that in here, but I think it's so interesting, like, that, you know, like that she is a princess, that her, you know, there's war in the area where she's from, and that she has all this land, but she has to go claim it, and it's just another challenge for her, but it is kind of stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't know about this. This feels like a movie.
Yes,
Hopefully not a tragedy.
yes.
So we don't know that.
And I feel like she hasn't completed that part, you know, as when this was written, and obviously
Right.
this was written, you know, maybe, I don't know everything about when this was written, sorry, I only did so much research. So 273, but that's not going to happen, if anybody wants to read that on 273. And then I have a lot of highlighted these last 3 pages, and then we can just talk,
But what?
but that's
But
not going
that's
to
not
happen.
going to happen. I'm a survivor, and all this struggle I went through, while it sucked at the time, it really helped me now. It has helped me get to where I am, and it will help me continue to improve and do better. It didn't always feel like it at times, but I truly believe I am blessed.
Yes, and this is kind of referring to her Rumpelstiltskin conversation about the guy that tried to use her, that would only let her be part of this tour if she would open her legs, and now he's calling her and making kind of these demands, and she's like, no, let me tell you a little bit how I feel about this, and if you want to talk to me, talk to my people, don't just call me. And she was like kind of setting him straight, but still not closing the door to everything, because you kind of have to be open to things in Hollywood, even if it's dealing with people that you don't want to deal with. But I do think like everything we go through in life makes you stronger.
Right.
And I don't know, I think that's why some of these people are so strong. They just went through the worst. And I thought on 274, if you could reach, I comprehended very well.
I comprehended very well. I knew what they were talking about. I was just quiet because I didn't want to get popped. Because there was popping at the school back then. Yeah, it was. In the hood in South Central, them teachers would slap the SHIT out of your ASS.
Yeah, and that's just her, like, people sometimes thought she was so bright. She didn't know how to read for a while, which had to do with her situation at home, because the time when you're learning how to read, she was raising this family. Right. But her, say it was a photographic memory, you think?
Yeah,
she had a photographic memory. She was very smart, but she was also smart enough to always know, like, I don't need to talk all the time to comprehend things, but that made some people think she was less intelligent.
Right.
But I think that's not the case.
And she was lucky to have that teacher who recognized it when she applied for that role.
That drama teacher recognized it.
And she taught her to teach in whatever, 3-4 months. And she could read, you know, finally, which opened up a whole new world for her.
And I was going to have you read where entertainment,
performing, being something that other people wanted me to be. Those were the things I'd be included in. Not to be Tiffany, to be outside of myself, because myself wasn't necessarily, I feel like I wasn't good enough. Just being me wasn't good enough. Not for my parents, not for school, not for anything. I got into entertainment business so I could feel accepted and loved and saved. When I got on stage to do comedy, it's about me. I feel accepted for who I am. I can do on stage with my hair fucked up, my makeup ugly, clothes. I've been waiting for 3 days and people still appreciate me. Clothes I've been wearing for 3 days and people still appreciate me. They still laugh. Being on stage is my safest place. It's the only place I've ever felt like nobody going to jump up and beat me, or if somebody do beat me, there's so many people in there, they're going to stop it.
Yes. So I feel like she's being so honest and open there. Like, I almost cried when I read that, because she's really just revealing all her fears and anxieties, and how many people honestly do. You know, I don't know how you guys felt when you read that, but I was like, oh my gosh, like, she's just being so honest right now, you know, like.
That makes her more free.
Yes.
To get it all out.
And I'm so glad she had, like, that refuge, because so many people don't have some type of a refuge, you know, but it just. And I like in the book where she, even though she's a little vulgar, she always says, like, that she feels blessed and she has a connection with God, and that really, even though, you know, like, it may not be at the level that some people might expect, she has put her faith to work many times, and it's happened for her.
Remember in the book where this girl was talking crazy to her on stage and she started praying?
Yes, out loud. And then people started realizing, oh, she's serious. Then she was like,
praying that the Lord give her strength
to beat her up.
Whoop that girl's butt.
Everybody was laughing, and then after a while they were like, hold up, she's like serious.
Yeah, she was serious about that.
And then I just wanted to read this. Whether it was to see me succeed, this was like important.
Whether it was to see me.
Go ahead, Mom.
Whether it was to see me succeed or to see me fail, they still came for me.
And sometimes
it's a safe place, like I'm being loved and admired. I know it's not really that, but it's the closest I've ever really had so far. I didn't start out with the intention of writing about all this painful stuff.
Yes.
I just wanted to write a funny book. I don't normally get all deep into painful stuff. I like to skip across the ocean of emotion. I feel like that's better.
Yes. But she's opening up. She's telling you, like, I am telling you stuff that I haven't even talked about at some points in my life, and then had to get courage in my spirit to talk about it at other points in my life.
Right.
So I just want to read, I think that's why I came back to comedy.
I think that's why I came back to comedy after being out of it for a while in my teens and early 20s, so I had a place to talk about my painful stuff, to share it, and to do it in a way that worked and help out other people too.
Yeah, and then I'm just gonna read this last part. I believe in God, and I believe I have a purpose in life, and I believe we all do. I believe you do too. I believe my purpose is to bring joy to people, to make them laugh, and to share my story to help them, to show people that no matter what, they matter, and they can succeed. No matter how bad things go, no matter how dark your life is, there is a reason for it, and you can find beauty in it, and you can get better. And I know because I've done it. This is why my comedy so often comes from my pain. I don't want to
Mom for donating the sperm that made me.
I really like that on. Yeah, I
really
really
like that.
So I don't know where it turned off, but we just read like that last page, and I'm not going to read it again, but if you don't read anything else but that last page, she's so honest in this book. It is so truthful. It can make you feel a range of emotions, like you're laughing, you know, you're almost peeing your pants for a minute, and then you're like, oh, wow, this is funny, but it's so serious too. And I just think she's a great person for any young person that's struggling.
She even thinks the Department for Children's Service and the court
Yes.
system for
Right.
taking care of me when no one else would.
Yep.
Lisa's in the acknowledgments.
I want to thank everyone who ever said anything positive to me or taught me something. I heard it all and it meant something.
And that's why I think it's so important to like smile at people and say
Really
something
fast.
nice to the people that you meet, because it really will mean something to somebody, you know, like it's not a joke, like be nice to people.
She says she wants to thank all the dudes I've ever slept with. I appreciate the experiences, but I ain't naming none
of you.
And on the next page, I want to thank God most of all, because without God, I wouldn't be able to do any of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important, like even though she's kind of rough, she is a very spiritual person. Like don't judge people by their appearance or the, you know, on what kind of level you think they are with God, because when you go through stuff, your level with God, like that goes through something too. So our next book's gonna be Gucci Man, and then after that we have another exciting book for you, and then we're gonna start our rotation of the book members club selections. So we are very excited. We want you guys to stay tuned and stay involved, and if you need a book or you want one of these books, you know, definitely reach out to one of us and we will share these books with you, and then we just ask that you share it with somebody else. And then, you know, we just hope you have a great day. Stay blessed.
All right.